The United States is waiving sanctions on the company that is behind Russia's Nord Stream 2 pipeline and its chief executive. The decision comes as US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov held a high-level meeting and agreed to work on differences between the two countries. The US had imposed sanctions on some ships and entities involved in construction of the $11 billion pipeline. The project aims to take Russian gas from the Arctic to Germany. The US had opposed the deal, but now the Biden administration has decided to waive sanctions.
It has been very clear for a long time, in his view, that Nord Stream 2 is a bad idea. And I reiterated that view directly to Foreign Minister Mas. And I also made clear that firms engaged in pipeline construction risk U.S. sanctions. The pipeline divides Europe. It exposes Ukraine and Central Europe to Russian manipulation and coercion. It goes against Europe's own stated energy security goals.
The decision to waive sanctions has given Berlin and Washington 3 more months to resolve a long-standing row. The $11 billion venture had strained ties at a time when Berlin and Washington are eager to build relations, which were severely disturbed during Trump's presidency. Germany and other European countries see the Nord Stream 2 as a crucial project to securing long-term energy supplies to the region. Germany had rejected the looming imposition of sanctions as interference in domestic affairs. German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas has welcomed the move as a conciliatory step.
Es ist ja eine Sanktion beschlossen worden, auch gegen die Nord Stream 2 AG und die CEO. Nur für die ist dann auch gleichzeitig wieder ein Presidential Waiver in Kraft gesetzt worden. Das heißt, dass sie wieder ausgenommen worden sind. Und das empfinden wir als einen konstruktiven Schritt, den wir gerne mit unseren Partnern in Washington weiter besprechen.
The 745-mile pipeline, which is more than 95% complete, will run beneath the Baltic Sea. It will double Russian natural gas shipments to Germany. The project has long been in the crosshairs of the United States, particularly by the administration of former President Donald Trump, which promoted US gas and openly criticized European countries for buying energy from Russia. Russian neighbours Poland, Ukraine and the Baltic states also fiercely opposed the pipeline, fearing it would increase Moscow's political leverage in regional politics. Now, WION correspondent Trent Murray is joining us live from Berlin. Trent, Germany has hailed the US waiver of some Nord Stream sanctions. How does Germany stand to benefit now?
Yeah, well, I think there is relief in Berlin this morning that this decision has been made. Relief in Moscow as well, of course, given that it is Gazprom, the state-backed Russian gas company, heavily behind this project. But some concern in Washington, as you mentioned. Germany has long maintained that this pipeline is an essential piece of infrastructure needed for its energy security. It comes as Germany is having some quite difficult conversations in recent years about the future of its energy mix. It's recently begun shutting down its nuclear reactors in the wake of the Fukushima nuclear disaster, as well as moving away from coal. And so experts here say that that pipeline is needed to help keep the lights on in Europe, to help keep Germany as Europe's biggest economy with energy security. But it is an incredibly divisive project because, as you say, it will allow Russia to almost double the amount of gas coming directly into Germany, and in doing so circumventing countries like Ukraine, where the gas has to currently transit through. So this pipeline has long been the thorn in the side for both German politicians trying to explain it internationally, as well as countries like the United States, who have struggled to grapple with the idea that there is Russian aggression in parts of Eastern Europe, while at the same time countries in Western Europe, like Germany, continue to do business in the billions and billions of dollars in gas projects like this one.
And the United States and several European countries fear the pipeline would increase German and EU dependence on Russia for critical gas supplies. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, that has always been the major concern, is that this is essentially handing a geopolitical gift, if you will, to President Putin in Russia and the Kremlin. The thinking goes that if he has more control of Europe's energy supplies, then that gives him more leverage over security issues and Europe less influence in trying to push back against some of those issues. It is worth noting that while the main political parties here in Germany do largely support the project, it is very divisive for its neighbours. France in recent months has come out against the project, urging Germany to abandon it. Poland is also fiercely opposed to it, but really leading the pack is Ukraine. They say that this is a geopolitical trap for Germany, that this is a security risk for Europe, and they should not hand President Putin this gift of allowing this pipeline to be completed. To understand Ukraine's opposition, you really have to look at a map of Europe. Currently, gas coming from Russia into Europe transits through Ukraine, and in doing so, Ukraine makes quite a considerable amount of money in transit fees. This pipeline would circumvent all of that, cutting across the Baltic Sea, avoiding Ukraine entirely, and allowing Russia to pump gas directly into Western Europe. Critics of the project say that will isolate Ukraine even further and leave it economically worse off.
WION correspondent Trent Murray live from Berlin. Thank you for your insights.